Hello and welcome to Your Stocks in the Mumbai News Studio. I'm Ekta Bajra. Well, it's turning out to be a session where we are seeing a good amount of gains coming in for the market. So we have the Nifty, which is up around 383 odd points at this point in time, high point of the day. No complaints coming in for the mid caps either, which have rallied around 1.7% at this point in time. And the sensex, which is up a cool 1100 odd points. The Bank Nifty also has recovered from the day's lows. So currently the Bank Nifty's at the high point, up around 0.7% currently for the Bank Nifty. Doing well for the markets, quite contrary to how we started, because we had the Bank Nifty which was underperforming. So there's been a complete reversal which has taken place, and we've really built on gains in today's trading session. The advance decline ratio holding steadily on the advancing side. So around 2,700 stocks advancing to around 1,300 stocks declining on the Bombay Stock Exchange. Well, joining us this afternoon, we have Shahina Mukadam, who's an independent market expert, Vaishali Parekh, head of tech research at Prabhudas Lilladher, to answer all of your stock queries. Ladies, welcome to the show. Vaishali, if we could just kick off the show with a technical check from you. Good, going great guns for the market at this point in time. What's your sense? How would your approach be?
Very good afternoon, ladies. Yes, so market, once again, it's a treat. We are seeing a good upsurge and, very close to the previous high of 24,850. So let's see if we move past that decisively, we can expect a target of 25,000 levels. And as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, well, it has been underperforming, but now it's trying to get into momentum. So I would say that 50,200 would act as a support, and for a near-term basis, 50,600 would act as a support. And let's see, we may see a bounce to start with for 51,500. So that's how market is very buoyant, and we are seeing good participation coming from IT. IT is outperforming as compared to Bank Nifty.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get in some queries now. We have Ellen Ratan Parekh, who writes to us from Hyderabad. He holds 400 shares of Trent, which he's bought at around 1,023, 100 shares of Hitachi Energy, which he's bought at around 6,960, and 40 shares of Abbott India, which he's bought at around 3,440. Wants to know what the future prospects of all of his investments are. So it's a medley of stocks, Trent, Hitachi, and Abbott. Well, let's go over to you, Shahina, on this one. What would your view be on three of these counters?
All three are very high quality, good quality management stocks. They are a bit expensive at current levels, but have good potential over the medium to longer term. So what I would suggest is that you can hold, but it is always, advisable to hold with a stop loss for these stocks. Trend, as we've seen, the stock has rallied substantially, but this was on back of very good margin improvement that they had. And we've seen also the profits that have actually doubled. Valuations can, a bit stretched, as I mentioned, but you can hold with a deep stop loss. I think the potential for growth definitely lies over there in terms of, a healthy, they have a robust increase additions in terms of footfalls. So that should be a positive going forward. Also, they have a good scale up with their Zudio and Star format. So I think these are positives going forward. Hitachi Energy, after their acquisition of ABB, they took over the power assets of ABB, the grid business. After that, the stock has actually, started performing in terms of operational performance. We saw the last quarter and also going forward. They have got very good orders. They are expanding. They've got orders even from Australia. So I think all this should support a good business momentum. So I think even Hitachi, there again, valuations are expensive. But if you're a medium to longer term holder, I think the power sector, especially in renewables, is getting a lot of orders, especially Hitachi Energy. So it would be a hold with stop loss. And of course, Abbott, Abbott is a steady growth pharmaceutical MNC. So I mean, there is nothing substantially happening there. It's a steady growth, low double-digit growth in revenues. Dividends are good. The management has declared that they would be sharing more than 70% of their profits as dividends. At the same time, this is more expensive than the rest of the pharma stocks. You can continue to hold if you're a long-term investor. Hold it, keep a stop loss.
Okay, all right. That's on a couple of these stocks. And what about you, What would your view be on the technicals, Vaishali, on three of these counters?
Sure. So let's start with trend. Well, we have seen a good run up, and just a few days back, we have witnessed some profit booking coming in. So still there is no damage to the trend, but if 5,000 levels break on a near-term basis, then this could call for a further corrective move going towards 4,800 to 4,600. Till then, 5,000 should be regarded as a strong support level. And well, if he wants to book partial profit and wait for a little bit of a dip to re-enter, that can be a strategy, or hold it with a trading stop loss. The other one you were asking me about is Hitachi. So I think Hitachi Energy, well, that too is in a similar chartical formation. It has just recently made a high of 14,000, nearly 200 levels, and right now it is at one of the previous support levels of 10,900. From there on, we are seeing a bounce coming in. So final support should be 10,900. If these levels break, it could call for a further profit booking in this as well. So I would say continue holding with a stock below 10,900 would negate my view. The third one you are asking me about is?
Well, there was Trent Abbott as well as Hitachi. So Abbott.
Yes, so Abbott, I think overall this stock has been doing very well, and right now also it's in a rounding formation. I think this stock is ready for still further up move. If this person wants to add also, 2,700 acts as the near-term support. So if there is a dip, he may add more, but otherwise hold on for the first target of 29,500 to start with. And if it sustains above that, I won't be surprised there's going to further high of around 30,200, 30,300 or something like that.
Okay, all right. Well, we have Sanjay now, who writes to us from Bhubaneswar. He holds 3,000 shares of Bank of Maharashtra, which he's bought at around 43.18 odd rupees. So he's sitting on a profit on that one, and he wants to know what to do, whether he should hold or add more shares when it comes to Bank of Maharashtra. Well, it's still a while away from, just a couple of rupees away from its 52-week high, but it's rallied significantly, Vaishali, Bank of Maharashtra, all the way from levels of around 33 odd, which was its 52-week low, to its high of around 73.5. So technically, how does the stock look? What would your target price be, and stop loss as well?
So I would say the way banking stocks have now once again started showing some strength, I would say, well, I don't think that this is calling for any exhaustion. And even in the recent past, if you see this, Bank of Maharashtra has been into a long consolidation between 63 to 66 levels. So right now it looks quite promising. 63 should be the stop loss. And well, if we see further momentum coming in all these banking stocks, I think this near-term target can be expected of 72 levels. And well, if time is not the problem and one wants to hold even more, then I guess wait for 78 and higher targets. That's how I would look at it. But if you're a short-term trader, 63 below 63 would be a stop loss.
Okay, below 53 would be a stop loss for Bank of Maharashtra. Fundamentally, Shahina, your view?
Well, I would say, in terms of equity, the government holds 86% of the equity. And to bring this down, the bank has already sort of indicated that there would be a QIP of almost, I believe, some 5,000 crores. Given this fact, and the fact that the stock has run up a lot, valuations are not cheap in terms of price to book. What I believe is that there is likely to be some consolidation, at least till this flow is out of the way. So if one is looking to be invested for the shorter term or medium term in the banking sector, there are better stocks available in the private sector which are available at similar valuations. Even PSU, even SBI is cheaper. So I think it makes a good switch from here. If you're a long-term investor, of course, I think most of the banks are going to do better because of better quality of balance sheets.
Okay, all right. That's on Bank of Maharashtra. That stock doing well today. Well, we now have a query coming in from Gopinath, who writes to us from Kerala, holds 81 shares of Laurus Labs, which he's bought at around 506 odd rupees. And he wants to know the prospects of his holding. Well, Shahina, I'm going to come to you on this because Laurus Labs, it's been an interesting stock. Okay, Shahina, we'll probably try and get back to her. But Vaishali, Laurus Labs, technically, how does it look? Fundamentally, it's been quite resilient despite its numbers disappointing the street. It always manages to hold up in terms of its post-number reaction. So the stock is currently at around 447. What would your target be on that particular counter? Do you think that it has the ability to retest its 52-week high at around 484?
So, well, this is one such candle. Actually, it took a support of a 200-day moving average of 416. That's where the rally began. And we need a follow-up buying for this because this candle has been exceptionally too big. So if we see a further surge above 456 levels, then of course the next projected target does come to the previous high of 480. So that's how I would look at it. But on the whole, 415, 414 acts as a stop loss.
Okay, all right. Anything within the space that you would look at? You know, a stock such as Syngene also came out with its numbers, yes, just around this week, 2 days ago. What would your approach be technically for Syngene?
So I would say Syngene also has really run up very well. But having said that, I think there is still further upside. So purely on technical terms, I would say 807, 810 is the breakout level. That is the near-term resistance. If we just see the stock moving above 810, then it calls for a further upside of 850, 860 levels. So yes, Syngene, the chartical pattern looks quite convincing.
Okay, all right. So that stock is up around 17% in the past 6 odd months, looking convincing on the technicals. Haridas writes to us from Mumbai. He holds over 1100 odd shares of Rail Vikas Nigam, which he's bought at around 136.9 odd rupees. So he's sitting on a good profit there. He wants to know what to do, whether he should hold or sell at these current levels. Vaishali, I'm going to toss this over to you as well. Rail Vikas Nigam, you know, a lot of these PSU stocks have done extremely well. But do you think it's prudent to take some profit off the table now?
I would think so, because we've really enjoyed good profit. So I think partial profit booking should not be ruled out, because to my understanding, the way these stocks have run up, these stocks can take a breather to some profit booking.
Okay, all right. Anything within the space which you still technically like?
So I still like IRCTC. That has really not participated as compared to these other stocks. And today what we see from Texmaco Rail and Jupiter Wagons, they still seem to have some upside. So these stocks are okay to trade.
Okay. Shahina, would you have a view on Rail Vikas Nigam and also Laurus Labs?
Yeah, so Rail Vikas Nigam, I would say that, it's got very strong order book. So from here on, it's a hold, though while valuations are expensive, I believe going forward, while it could consolidate because of valuations.
Okay, well, we do have some issues with Shahina's connection. We'll do one thing. We'll take a short break with the news that the markets are doing well. The mid-cap index is up around 1.8%. We have the Nifty, which is doing well as well, up around 386 odd points. We'll take a quick break. Be back with more queries. Stay tuned. Welcome back. A very good day for the markets. We have Divi's Labs, which is your top gain on the Nifty. That stock is up around 5 odd % at this point. In fact, Vaishali, wanted your thoughts on that particular counter. It's doing extremely well technically today. So give us a sense in terms of what we can expect on the technicals of this one.
So I would say, of course, for a short-term period, it's really run up. So hard to tell whether it's a good buying opportunity. But when I'm seeing the weekly chart, I mean, after a good consolidation at 4,500 levels, this stock shows renewed strength. So I think, at the same time, 4,800 as a near-term target is the resistance. But if it sustains above that, then 5,200 would be the next possible target.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, let's get in a couple of questions now. We have Arun, who writes to us from Coimbatore, holds 500 shares of IREDA, which is bought at around 117. So sitting on a profit, he wants to know what to do, hold or book his profits. Now, similar question that we answered before with regards to RVNL. On IR, EDA, what would you recommend, Vaishali? Book your profits?
I would say partial profit booking should not be ruled out, or else keep a stop loss of 250, because below 250 it calls for a profit booking zone.
Okay, okay. All right. And Shahina, what would your view be?
Well, I would say that it is very expensive in its NBFC space for now. And I was a bit disappointed that, the renewable energy lending space did not get any benefits from the budget. So based on these two factors, I would say you could switch to a direct banking stock or, another NBFC. As of now, I believe for the shorter term, it is expensive.
Okay, all right. So it is in the shorter term, it is expensive. We do have Ashutosh, who now writes to us from Kolkata, holds 300 shares of Zomato, which is bought at around 68. So good entry price is what he's got for Zomato. Long-term investor wants to know what to do with this particular counter. Well, let's try tossing this over to you, Shahina, on this one. Zomato. The valuations definitely are something which has expanded quite a bit for Zomato. But how would you approach it fundamentally from here on? Do you have a target price on the fundamentals?
See, while the stock has moved up substantially and valuations have started, moving up. At the same time, if you see, even the EBITDA margins overall for the company have improved substantially in FY24. Now it's almost, this year will be expected to be above 8% on an EBITDA basis. Blinkit also actually is expanding fast, expanding across geographies. And maybe by the year end, we could see, profits improving even on EBITDA for Blinkit. So given all these factors, and if one wants to be in a new age business, I would think this is an interesting bet. Maybe, we can not look at valuations for the shorter term, medium term, but keep it as your long-term holding.
Okay, all right. Keep it as a long-term holding. Well, the one question is about the valuation of Blinkit in Zomato. But technically, Vaishali, what would you recommend on the technicals of Zomato? What is your target price? Where do you think one should probably keep their stop loss? And again, is this a stock on the technicals where one should book some profit?
So, well, I think the stock technically is showing some signs of exhaustion. So if you're ready to keep a stop loss of 200, that should be the stop loss for now. And ride the rally for another target of 250, 260. Else book partial profit. And if it comes down, add more to the stocks.
Okay, all right. Well, we have S. Jaykumar now, who writes to us from Tamil Nadu. He holds 1,000 shares of Mishra Dhatu Nigam, which he's bought at 536, wants to know what to do, whether to hold or sell this particular counter. So he's currently sitting on a bit of a loss. So Vaishali, what would your approach be on this?
So I would say actually continue holding, because overall this stock, there is no weakness. It's just a minor consolidation. So currently it's at 486. Keep 460 as stop loss. And right now I'm seeing overall the full metal pack is showing some strength. So this too should do well, and look for a target of 540, 550.
Okay, all right. Look for a target of around 545 in that stock. And fundamentally, what would your call be, Shahina on Mishra Dhatu?
Yeah, I would agree. It's a hold. Basically, Mishra Dhatu is a supplier, very important supplier to the government for critical parts, components, special steels, alloys. For a lot of defense, you have space. A lot of demand is there, increasing demand. So while if you look at it in terms of numbers, it is not expensive, given that it's a very, a nice large PSU stock. So I would say there would be a consolidation maybe for some time, but it's definitely a hold for the medium to longer term. Business is improving going forward.
Okay, all right. Well, Ritu Sareen now writes to us from Raigarh. She says she wants to buy power stocks from short to medium term period and is asking if she can invest in Power Grid or NTPC. Well, Shahina, what would your approach be on this?
Yeah, power, the overall sector is very much in, the addition list for investors. And there, if between the two that she's given NTPC and Power Grid, I would prefer NTPC. where there's a lot of investments that is going on both in renewable energy as well as if you see thermal, you see there's a lot of investment that is going on, and we're going to likely to see a big capacity increase for NTPC over the medium to longer term. Valuation is not expensive; it's just about 1.8 times current year. So this could be an interesting add. And the other company I would prefer to be Tata Power. There I believe again, a lot of investments is going on to renewable energy. Debt is now being brought down. So I think overall it looks like a decent bet. If you want to have two power stocks, these two look good for you.
Okay, all right. Well, Shahina as well as Vaishali, we're going to wrap it up on that note. Thank you very much for joining in and giving us all of your views, which have come in on the technicals as well as on the fundamentals. That's all the time that we have on this show. Do remember to email us your queries. We'll address them with our experts. Closing bell up next.